Howdy ho, Maplers, and welcome to Paint 3D. No, for real. I never thought I'd have to make a video like this, but it seems people are either ignorant of the subject or just don't care and like to chaos. But today I'm going to talk a little bit about map ownership and the rules behind it. Say you're training in your favorite map. For this demonstration, let's just do CLP. Beautiful drawing, I know. Then let's change our color here. Our character will be in yellow. Say you're here in CLP, and you're training away, having a good old time. But oh no, you have to go to the restroom. What do? Well, if you're only going to be gone for like 1 minute, wow, I cannot draw for crap. If you're only going to be gone for like 1 minute, what I usually do, I just set either Lucid Soul or my will skill, and then just leave my character standing still. 99.9% of people, if they see a summon in the map and a character standing there with items on the ground, they'll just move on. The other 0.01% are just going to chaos regardless, so you can't really fix that. But for that scenario, you're totally fine. You shouldn't have any issues losing your map for that. If you, for say, leave CLP and go outside the map to just rest there in case you're afraid of an anti-AFK mob, you are leaving the map open, with no one there to hold it for you. Therefore, anyone who comes into the map can take the map, because you're no longer holding it. A lot of people will see that there's still items on the ground here and there, and they'll usually wait a minute and see if you come back, but if they don't, they're totally outright taking that map because you left. Now, say a new scenario. Let's redraw this here. Doesn't have to be pretty. It's just here, for example. Say you're here training, but oh boy, an Infernal Wolf portal spawns. Now you, being the savvy Mapler, you want those cubes. You want those epic pot scrolls. So you go into the Infernal Wolf. But oh no, while you're in Infernal Wolf, player B shows up and finds a free map. So they start training. Now what happens here, you technically left the map, same as in scenario 1. So player B is in the right for taking the map because it was free. However, again, if you leave items on the ground, most people will see the items on the ground, and if you pop up a short time after, because both Pollo and Frito and Infernal Wolf take less than 2 minutes. Items will always remain on the ground if you're doing either of those, so long as you're not wasting time, AFKing at the end, what have you. As long as you're doing them and then coming straight back out, you will still have items on the ground, showing that you have been in that map and were just momentarily in a portal. Now this one's a little more of a gray area because, again, you are leaving of your own will. You're leaving the map unguarded. You don't have anyone sitting in the map holding it while you do these things. So you are putting the map at risk of being taken. And if someone does take it, and they don't want to give it back, it's entirely their map, because you voluntarily left the map unattended, and they showed up to an empty map and they took it. Now that might be scummy of them, but again, it's completely in their right to take that map because it was completely free. 99% of people, if you tell them, hey, I was an Infernal Wolf, do you mind if I keep this channel? Most of them will be like, ugh, fine, okay. I don't want to start a chaos war. I just showed up. Yeah, there were items on the ground. Go ahead, take the map back. That's fine. But if they don't, it's completely in their right to do so. Now for scenario 3. This is the one that happens most often. Say you're training, and oh boy, someone casts out an MVP. Now obviously you want an MVP, but oh no, you're going to be leaving your map unattended. What you should do is you should type in your guild or alliance chat asking for a friend and see if, hey, can they come in? And they'll usually come in. Let's do lime green for your friend. Nice cute color. He'll come in and he'll either train in the map or just sit there holding the map until you get back from the MVP. That way you can go to MVP and be assured that when you come back, your map will still be yours because you have someone there holding it. If you go to an MVP without a map holder, you gave up ownership of the map, and anyone who shows up while you're gone has valid claim to the map because it is empty. Especially MVPs, because they range in time. They're not like Infernal Wolf or Pollo and Frito that have like very short set times to them. MVPs can take almost 5 minutes at times after the set time for the cast because of just random circumstances. So you're at more of a risk of losing your map if you don't have a holder for an MVP. So you always want to make sure you have a holder. And honestly, I would say if you can't find a map holder and you're in a very popular map like 1.5, CLP, MTS2, and you know these maps are highly contested, just skip the MVPs. Just don't go to them if you can't get a map holder. They're not worth the effort of dealing with people who are just going to take the map or just start fights over KSs on who owns the map, what have you. Know that if you leave the map, you're giving it up. And when you come back, if you're not having someone hold the map, if someone's there, it's their map. You've lost the map because you left it unattended. And now for the final scenario. Really the last one, and the only other decent reason you would have to leave a popular map. You need to restock on potions, or stars, what have you. So you go back and you restock on potions. Normally, if you have a hyper teleport rock, this almost isn't an issue because you can leave and get back really, really fast. But if you don't have a hyper teleport rock, sometimes the walking time can be quite long, and it gives a lot of room for random people to just show up and say, "Ooh, hey, free map," and then they start training. Since you left the map, once again, you've given up ownership of the map by going back to town. So if you come back to your map and there's someone there, you can say, "Hey, I went back to town, I needed to restock on my stars, my EXP potions, what have you," and you can ask them if you can have it back, but they do not have to give you the map back because you left it unattended. Now most people will just say, sure, fine, whatever. Don't want to get into a KS war with this person, you can have it back, they just showed up after all. But if they don't want to, it's totally within their right not to give the map back, because it is now their map. That's how map ownership works. Once you leave the map for any amount of time, if nobody is there holding the map, it is no longer yours. At all. You could be gone for 10 seconds, 10 minutes. Either way, if there's no one on the map, and somebody new shows up and wants to train there, it is their map. You cannot show up like a minute and a half later and start KSing them saying, "Hey, this was my map, get out of here." Because you gave up the map when you left. It's no longer yours. And far, far too many people just assume that if they're training in a channel, that's their channel, no matter what. They go away for 30 minutes and come back, still their channel. You're training there? Oh, sucks to be you. This is my channel, CC, and they start KSing. It's so obnoxious and so dumb because this is pretty easy to grasp. There's not really that much to it. Map ownership is simple. If you're in the map and you're training, it's yours. If you leave the map without someone there to hold it and someone else shows up, the map is no longer yours. You can ask them politely to have it back, but do not expect to always get it back. And when they say no, because eventually they will, these are popular maps, this is going to happen. When they say no, do not throw a tantrum and start KSing. Do not call your guild and start KSing, because the person you're KSing has done nothing wrong. You're in the wrong KSing them. You left the map. It is no longer yours. Now just to cap this off, if you ever have to leave your map and you train in a popular area, always call your friend the lime-colored guildmate or alliance member. They're great people. Normally they'll be like, "Alright, sure, I can hold it for a minute or two." They're usually always super polite, and asking them takes nothing from you. Always ask for a map hold. If you ever have to leave for any amount of time, ask your guild or alliance to hold the map for you. Because if someone shows up and you're not there, it is now their map. And don't be the person who KS's the poor little orange guy because he showed up to a map that no one was at, that no drops were on the ground, that nothing was there indicating anyone was using the map, and he starts training. Don't KS this poor guy because he found a free map that you left unattended. It is not his fault that you left the map unattended. Anyways, this got a little longer than I planned for it to be. Map ownership, at least to me, I trained way too much. This is like common sense stuff. You just ask, move on, don't KS ever. But it really irritates me when people, especially people in really big guilds, do not understand how map ownership works. Anyways, that was this video. The Evan video is going to be a little ways off. I'm going to have to, for the first time ever, do a mid 250 zero training or zero mesa farming set because Black Friday's here. There's a lot of cute stuff in there that I want, but I don't want to spend real money on. So I'm going to farm up a ton of mesas to buy all the stuff I want. Hopefully this little video helps carry through the wait time. But until then, hope you guys found this video helpful in any way, and I'll see you in the next one.